Good morning, students. Today we will discuss an important theorem in differential geometry, which is Monck's theorem. This theorem gives necessary and sufficient condition for a curve on a given surface to be line of curvature. And this necessary and sufficient condition is that the surface normals along the curve form a developable surface. It means if we take a surface and we take a curve on this surface, and if we draw normals at every point on the surface, these are the normals drawn at every point of the surface, then the surface generated by these surface normals, that should be developable surface. So in order to prove this, let us consider a surface having the equation given by R is equal to R uv. U and V are parameters, and let us take a curve given by R is equal to Rs on this surface, and let us take P is any point on this curve denoted by this. This is the curve denoted by R is equal to Rs. P is the point on this curve, and N is the normal unit vector at the point P. Then this surface normal, that can be regarded as a function of S because of its variation along this curve. Because as we move from point to point on this curve, the direction of this surface normal changes. It means this surface normal is a function of the arc length S. So therefore, we can say that N is the function of S. Now, let us take QB any point on this normal, and let capital R be the position vector of the point Q, and small r, this is the position vector of the point P. Then in the triangle OPQ, we can use triangle law of vectors addition. So by triangle of vectors addition, in the triangle OPQ, we have vector OQ is equal to vector OP plus vector PQ. Now vector OQ is vector R, vector OP is denoted by the vector R plus PQ. Now because PQ is parallel to the vector N, so therefore PQ will be some multiple of this vector N, and that scalar we have taken V. So vector PQ is equal to V into N. Now we can substitute the value of vector PQ here. So we get the position vector of point Q on the normal is given by vector R is equal to small vector r plus V into vector N. Now here this R, that is a function of S, and the normal vector, that is also a function of S. Now here we are having two parameters. One parameter is S and another parameter is V. We will use the suffix 1 when we do the partial derivatives with respect to S, and we use the suffix 2 for the derivatives, partial derivatives with respect to the parameter V. So let us find the derivatives of this vector R. So firstly we find the partial derivative of this vector R with respect to the parameter S. Here the derivative of vector R with respect to S, that is denoted by R dash. V is constant. The derivative of N is denoted by N dash. Now dr by ds, that is the unit tangent vector which we denote by T. So the partial derivative of R with respect to S is given by T plus V N dash. Now let us find the partial derivative of vector R with respect to the parameter V. Substituting the value of vector R here, which is R plus Vn. Because this is a function of S only, so its partial derivative with respect to V will become 0. And also this is a function of S only, and therefore the partial derivative of this term, that will be N. Now, let us find R12. R12 means the partial derivative of curl R by curl V with respect to S. Now, this is the vector n. So, curl n by curl S, that will be n dash. Therefore, we can find the value of second order fundamental magnitude m. By definition, second order fundamental magnitude m is given by R12 dot R1 cross R2 divided by H. It means m is given by the scalar triple product of the three vectors R12, R1 and R2 divided by H. From here we get H into m is equal to scalar triple product of the vectors R12, R1 and R2. Now, because we can use the property of scalar triple product of three vectors in the cyclic order, if we have three vectors a, b, c, if we are having the vector a, vector b and vector c, these are the three vectors, then the scalar triple product of vectors a, b, c, scalar triple product b, c, a and the scalar triple product c, a, b. These three products, they are same. So here by using this property of scalar triple product of vectors, we can write this product is equal to the scalar triple product of R1, R2 and R12. And by definition, this can be written as R1 dot R2 cross R12. Now substituting the values of R1, R2 and R12. R1 is t plus v n dash, R2 is vector n, R12 is n dash. Now simplifying this term, this is t dot n cross n dash plus v into n dash dot n cross n dash. Now in this scalar triple product, the two vectors are same, and in the scalar triple product, if two vectors are same, then the scalar triple product becomes 0. So this term will become 0. So we have h into m is equal to scalar triple product of the vectors t, n and n dash. Now let us find R22. R22 means second order partial derivative of vector r with respect to the parameter v. And this is further is equal to curl by curl v of curl r by curl v. Curl r by curl v is vector n. So we have obtained R22 is equal to partial derivative of n with respect to v. But because n is the function of s only, so this partial derivative will be 0. Now we can find the second fundamental magnitude n, which is by definition R22 dot R1 cross R2 divided by h. Now because this term is 0, so the second order fundamental magnitude n, that will be 0. Thus we have obtained two results. One of them n is equal to 0 and second h into m is equal to scalar triple product of t, n and n dash. Now as we already discussed, a surface is developable if and only if its Gaussian curvature is 0. And by definition, Gaussian curvature is given by ln minus m square divided by h square. Now this is 0 if and only if ln minus m square is 0. Now n is already 0, so this will further be reduced to if and only if m is 0. Now m is 0, from here we get scalar triple product of vector t, n and n dash is equal to 0. Thus the surface is developable if and only if scalar triple product of the vector t, n and n dash is 0. Thus our theorem is reduced into the following form. The necessary and sufficient condition for a surface r is equal to rs to be line of curvature on the surface r is equal to rub is that the scalar triple product of the vector t, n and n dash is 0. So we will prove this condition now. So necessary condition, firstly, in the necessary condition, let us assume that the curve r is equal to rs be the line of curvature. Now we already discussed Rodrigues formula, which gives us necessary and sufficient condition for a curve on a given surface to be line of curvature. So by Rodrigues formula, if the curve is line of curvature, then dn plus kappa dr is equal to 0. Here n is the surface normal. Now from here we can write d by ds of n plus kappa into dr by ds is equal to 0. Now the derivative of n with respect to s, that is denoted by n dash, and dr by ds, that is denoted by r dash. So from here we get n dash plus kappa r dash is equal to 0. It means n dash is equal to minus kappa into r dash. Now r dash is the unit tangent vector, which is denoted by t cap. So we have obtained n dash is equal to minus kappa into t cap. Now we have to find the scalar triple product of the vector t, n and n dash. Substituting the value of n dash, the value of n dash is minus kappa into t cap. Substituting the values here, and we can take the scalar kappa outside of the scalar triple product. Inside we have the scalar triple product of the vectors t, t and n. And in the scalar triple product, if two vectors are same, then the scalar triple product becomes 0. So we have proved the necessary condition. Now we will prove the sufficient condition. In the sufficient condition, we are given that the scalar triple product of the vectors t, n and n dash is 0. And we are to prove that the curve is line of curvature. Now because n is the normal unit vector, and by definition of unit vector, its magnitude will be 1. It means the vector n has constant magnitude. And we already discussed in the vector calculus that a vector is of constant magnitude if and only if its dot product with its derivative, that is 0. It means the vector n dash, that will be perpendicular to the vector n. Because these two vectors are perpendicular, it means the vector n dash that lies in the tangent plane. And therefore we can say that the vector t cross n dash, that will be perpendicular to tangent plane. Now because this is perpendicular to tangent plane, it means this vector will be parallel to the vector n. Now we are given that the scalar triple product of the vectors t, n and n dash is 0. Now by using the property of scalar triple product, this product can be written as scalar triple product of n, n dash and t, and this is equal to 0. Now by definition, this can further be written as n dot n dash cross t is equal to 0. Because cross product is anti-commutative, so this will be is equal to minus t cross n dash. Now this product is 0. Now because the dot product of n with t cross n dash is 0, either this vector should be 0 or this should be 0 or both should be perpendicular. But as we already discussed, the vector n is the normal unit vector. Its magnitude is 1. So this vector cannot be 0 vector. And also this vector is parallel to this vector. So we are left only with one possibility, that if this dot product is 0, then this term must be 0. So we have obtained the cross product of vector t with n dash is 0. And if cross product of two vectors is 0, then the vectors are parallel. It means the vector t is parallel to the vector n dash. It means n dash will be some multiple of vector t. So we can take n dash is equal to minus k into t. Now t is the tangent vector, which is given by r dash. So we can take n dash is equal to minus kappa into r dash. Now n dash is dn by ds, r dash is dr by ds. So we have obtained d by ds of n plus kappa into d by ds of vector r is equal to 0. It means dn plus kappa dr is equal to 0. And by Rodrigues formula, we can say that the curve is line of curvature. So this completes the necessary and sufficient condition for a curve on a given surface to be line of curvature. And this completes Mohm's theorem.